Video, we're going to take a look at managing the content that's specific to your website. In previous videos, you probably were looking at a different website, a more generic website, just in terms of the presentation of the Modex Manager and finding your way around. Now we're going to look at actual content from your live website and look at managing each individual item and what's entailed to do so. We'll just go ahead and start at the top of the resource tree, and we're going to look at your home document. And you're going to see, anytime you edit a document, you're going to see these four tabs across the top. Your primary document data, we've got settings relating to the published settings and the content type. And we've got template variables. And this fourth is resource groups, and this is something we'll get into when we're looking at restricting content. The purpose of resource groups is to define items that need to be restricted to specific access groups. So we're going to focus on document and template variables as the two tabs that are most important. Now you see right away here on your home page, there's really not a whole lot here. You've got a title and that's it. And you've got your defined template, but there's no content. And the reason for that is all the content generated on your home page is actually defined by settings within the index template and by content settings here in our template variables. So on your home page, you've got a couple sections that you will definitely need to manage. One is your featured content section, and the second is the optional videos selection area. And to manage those two, we're going to go to template variables, and we're going to look first at the videos. And you'll see here we've got show specific videos and video section, and you'll see this variable is currently blank. So the way this works is your video data is stored locally, and your system is basically looking through all of the available videos, and it's randomly selecting 4 to display in this space. You can override that random selection by clicking in here and entering a video name and selecting it, and or clicking on the drop down and scrolling through the list and selecting specific videos. And to do so, you just literally click on one, and to remove it, you can click on the X. Now you see we've got the second selection down here, and this is for items we want not to show in the videos section. So this basically allows you to predefine a list of videos that you do not want to appear in this video featured videos section. So if I had entered 4 here and saved this document, the 4 that I entered would override the random selection and would be the videos that displayed here in your videos, your featured videos section. All right, let's move on to your featured content. Now you see we've got very similar selection mechanisms here, but you have 2 different ones. You have one for select featured resources and one for include videos. And the reason for that is your video data is actually completely separate from your resource or page data, and so they have to be selected individually. Now once they are selected, the system is going to look at all of them together, and it's going to look at the publishing date for each of those to decide in what order it will display them on the home page. It will display from the most recently published in descending order to the one published furthest in the past. So again, the selection mechanism is the same. Here for featured resources, I can simply click in this field and start typing, and it will automatically pre-fill the list with items that match the text that I've typed in. You can come in here and select the items that you want. You could also click here and scroll through the entire list, but you have a very long list, and that would be a very difficult way to get about it. Same with the videos. Again, you click in here, type the name, and select the one you want, or you click on the drop-down menu and scroll through and select them here. The items that you select, again, will be displayed here on the home page. Now, there is not a hard set limit. You could include more, but we've designed that interface to manage at most 4 featured items. Any more than that, you're going to have problems with overflow and some things overlapping. So that is how you manage featured content for the home page. And once you define the items that you want, we're just going to click Save. And again, the order will be defined by the publishing date. In the case of your resources here on your website, that will be the date at which you clicked on Publish and saved the document. And for videos, it will be the date at which you made it public on Vimeo. We'll use the same selection process to define the full list of featured content that appears when users click on your View All Featured Content link. You'll see here we've got a longer list of items that you've selected as featured. Now that is defined here on your featured content container document. And when we go there, you'll see, you can ignore this here, and please don't edit anything that you see with two double brackets like this. That's embedded scripts that we need to make sure stay as they are. But in your featured content container, we'll go to our template variables, and we go again to our featured content section. You'll see these same two selection mechanisms here, which you'll see we've got a longer list of items. Now, because there's no guarantee that the four most recent you define in this list are what you want featured on your home page, we've had to make these selections independent. Regardless, the process is the same. We click in here and begin typing and select from the predefined list as you type out the title of the item you're looking for. And again, same with videos. You can go ahead and type in the video name or select from the list as it pops up. And when you're done and we view that document, you're going to get a list of all the items you selected in descending order of their publishing date. There's no hard limit here. You can select more or less items as you want. Now, where this gets most interesting is where you don't necessarily have on your website the item that you want to feature. It doesn't exist in articles. It's not a resource. It's, for instance, a news release, or it's a link to an external site. And really, the only place it's relevant is as a featured content item. In that case, what we're doing here is adding these simply as a list of children right underneath featured content, and we can delete these and clean these out in the future as necessary. So let's just very quickly show what's required to add an item. And we've got basically two sorts of items you're going to be adding here. One is a web link, which is directly linking to an external page. And another is sort of a landing page that would allow users to go to a page on your site with a few more details before sending them to their final destination. So for a web link, actually for either option, you're going to right-click on the featured content container, go to the Create item, and select either document or web link. Now, web link is very simple. It's going to contain a title, which is going to be what shows up here as your title item, and again on the home page as the title here. And summary text if available. And again, the summary text is what will show up. And here, let's go back to our list here. It's going to be what shows up here as the little descriptive blurb underneath the title. It's great to include that wherever possible. And then the web link, which is the actual URL to the external resource. Now, you can define a custom alias here, and the alias is what shows up. Let's just give you an example here if we were to go to this page. And you'll see here is our alias, Creation Sabbath Live Stream. Now, when we view this page on the front end, you'll see that is the URL for the page. So if for any reason you want a custom URL, for instance, you want to send this link out to people and you don't want something as long and convoluted as some of these can be, you can put in a custom resource alias here, and that will be what's defined as the URL. So again, for a web link, title, summary text would be good, a URL to the final destination, and then we're going to go to our template variables, and we're going to go to images and media and select an image. You could either put it in the header image field or the icon image field for web links. Either will work for this purpose. And to select an image, we're going to just click on this little icon here to the right, and then we can go to our image directory. And if we've got an image available that we know we want, if we've uploaded it recently, for instance, it might be in the year and month that it was uploaded, or you can select from stock, and you'll see we've got directories for each of our primary topics, and you can simply click on one of those and double click on the image you want to use. And then save this resource, and then this image will appear both as the icon here and on the home page as the background for this whole featured section when your item is highlighted. So we're going to close this since we don't actually want to create anything new or modify this one. So that is a web link. Now, alternatively, I could have gone here and gone to create document. In create document, I'm creating an actual page that users can access instead of sending them directly to an external URL. And here I can enter content as I see fit, and there's going to be an additional video here to go into the details of using this particular portion of the manager to create and manage content. I'll put my content in here, put in my summary text, put in my title. Again, we'll go to template variables, we'll go to images and media. In this case, you definitely do want to select a header image because the header image is going to be what shows, and actually I don't have that one currently live, so let's just view this from the back end. It's going to be what shows up here, so it's important to have a header image for actual landing pages. and your content shows here, and here we've got a link pointing them to their final destination. So again, these are entered under featured content, and then to feature them, I need to go back to, once they're saved and published, I need to go back here to my featured content page, go to my template variables, go to featured content, and then I could type in the title of the item that I want to feature, and it should appear. You can see some of them are already here. Now you notice if I type in the one that I have here, Creation Sabbath Live, you see it doesn't show up. And the reason for that is it's not published. So only published items will show up as you enter the titles. And then if I want that featured on the home page as well, I would simply go back to the home page, go back to my template variables, my featured content, and enter the title for that item here in this field and select it from the list. And then once saved, that item is going to show in the featured content both on the home page and on the featured content page, and will only appear in the resource tree under featured content. And then when we're done with it, we'll simply be able to click on it and click delete and then purge it. So it's sort of a temporary storage for items that you simply want to appear as featured content. So that's managing featured content. Now I will go through in additional videos and go through each one of these items individually and sort through them in more detail.